Hello and welcome to MGTracey. So this is my third lazy spa now. I've been doing this for 5 years. If you hit the little eye in the corner there, you'll see there's a link to how I set this up and how I pull the AstroTurf down. But today I'm going to be concentrating on the quick things you need to do every day. If you leave a spa running and you don't give it a bit of love and attention, you'll go very green or very slimy. So here's my quick tips on what you need to do every day for 5 minutes to keep your spa magical. Okay, so the first thing we need to do every day is wash out our filter. So that whole unit, it's the same on all lazy spas, anti-clockwise. And inside you've got a paper filter, a bit like a compressed toilet roll. Now when I started off I was getting through one of these every week because it just goes green and filthy. You need to rinse it out every day, even if you've not had anybody in it. And if you have had someone in it who has got a fake tan, a lot of makeup, this is going to go very brown. It needs a good clean, otherwise you're going to be spending £5 every week on a filter. So I'll just show you how I clean this. So you need a bit of power and just get all that grime, hair, bugs, makeup, all that needs to come out of here. And then a little last blast inside, going all the way around. Now if you do that every day, you should be able to keep this filter for your entire season, so that's going to save you an awful lot of money. And now just put that back in the tub. There's no need to turn anything off while you're doing that. Now if you've got an older hot tub, you'll have a little skimmer that floats around and you'll need to put your chlorine tablets in there, and that'll just bop along with the jets and will keep some chlorine in the water for you. On the newer lazy spas, you don't have a skimmer bobbing around, you have this. Now how hard you turn that is how much chlorine you're releasing, but if you pull it back to zero, you can just pull this out and there you can see that actually means we need to add a chlorine tablet to that one. So I'm going to add a chlorine tablet in there. I find you need really two or bits of one and another one to keep the chlorine at the right level, otherwise you'll be constantly adding and trying to get the chlorine level right. I twist that halfway and then we dock that back on the top. Unlike the bottom one, this is just 1/4 turn. When you're doing the filter on the bottom, you need 5 or 6 turns on that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is just have a look at the water and check the water with a dipstick. So these are the test strips I use. I'll put links to all the different bits and pieces you may need in the description box below, so you can go straight to them there. And this one checks for almost everything. The cheaper ones tend to have 3 colours on them, but this one does the acid level, hardness, alkalinity, the pH, one of the most important one, and then a couple that are plotting how much chlorine. If you don't have enough chlorine, you're risking picking up bugs from the water. If you have too much, it'll make your eyes water. It's like peeling onions. So what we do with this one is we dip it in for 2 seconds and then we shake it for 5. I'm going to dip for 2 seconds, we're going to shake for 5, and then you can have a reading to see how your pool is doing. And this will tell you what different chemicals you need to do. And actually this one's pretty good, obviously I'm doing it every day. The only thing we need to do, the pH is very low and it should be somewhere in the middle, so it's the same pH as your skin. So I'm going to put some pH plus in. If you buy a starter kit, you'll find you have pH plus, pH minus and a number of other chemicals. For me, it's a bit of pH plus almost every time. I've never used pH minus, but that'll depend on what water you have in your area. This is the pH plus. Never pour directly into the pool because you lose track of how much you put in and you'll end up yo-yoing too high, too low. So I know that a couple of these in there is just right for my pool. And what I'm going to turn on now is I'm going to turn on the bubbles just to mix that through. That really should be enough to have circulated that, so it'd be okay for someone to get into this pool in about 5 minutes. Another common problem is where you have a number of people in this, that there'll still be some washing powder in their clothes, their bikinis, their trunks or whatever, and that washing powder, that detergent builds up. When you turn the bubbles on, it looks like a foam party, and that's actually not very good for the tub or the machine. So you'll find in your kits, or you can buy it separately, foam remover. This is a liquid, and you need to pour 1 capful in when the bubble cycle is running, and over the next 10-15 seconds you'll magically see that the bubbles disappear. It should look like that even after you've run the bubbles. If you've got a lot of scum or a lot of foam, that's the one you need to add in. This will alter the acid level of the water, so if you're using this a lot, keep checking to make sure you've got your pH level correct. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you how I quickly whiz round to filter out the bugs that may have built up in the hot tub. So the filter is at the bottom, and it will take out some of the bits and pieces, but a lot of ants and bugs, actually they end up floating or being around on the surface. So the best way I found to do this is just go around a couple of times near the surface. Hopefully you can see that's just some bits and pieces of debris that's gone in or have not been using it, so we'll just get rid of that. Now the next section is to turn on the bubbles again and then let them do the work. Do that one more. So if you do that every day and just keep 5-10 minutes on top of your hot tub, you'll find it's ready for you whenever you want to have a dip in that evening. Please like, share and subscribe, and come back here every day for something new on MGTracey. Cheerio!